Hey guys, welcome back to How to Roll Dice. I'm Josh, and for today's video, I want to open up with a bit of housekeeping, both figuratively and literally. As I mentioned in my last video, my house, when it gets a little cluttered, like my actual home, I tend to lose sort of like my emotional and creative drive. I get kind of like moody and down, and I don't really feel like making anything. And that's directly related to how cluttered and chaotic my house is. So if my house gets really messy and disorganized, I really basically just lose all energy to do anything. It's really weird how directly they're linked. So my wife and I have spent the last week going around and doing a number on the house, kind of your traditional spring cleaning, going through all the rooms, everything from windows to vacuuming to picking up, every little thing that we can think of, reorganizing, stowing away old baby toys and clothing in the basement from my son's room, everything you can do. And the house is looking much, much better now. I'd say we're about 85% of the way done, and I am feeling much, much better. So again, real solid link between the two there. It's really odd. I should take more advantage of it because basically anytime I'm feeling down, I just have to clean up the house and I'll probably feel better. But that being said, one of these sort of like moments of clarity that I've had over the last week, now that I'm slipping back into my creative and thinking mindset, now that the house is picked up, was that I don't really want to have two YouTube channels. I've been talking about how I was making that other YouTube channel and I was trying to sort of transfer things over from TikTok to that YouTube channel because I had gotten somewhere like 56,000 followers on TikTok and I didn't want to just drop that because it seemed like an amazing opportunity. But it's been a lot of effort, and frankly, I don't care enough to let it impact this channel, which I really love. And one little side thing that sort of helped me come to that conclusion was, like I said in my last video, again, we had a friend, a close friend, a good friend, at least I consider him a good friend, a great friend, who had moved out to California a while ago and who came home for a visit, and we got to play some board games at a different friend's house. And I had a great time. We all had a great time. He's a great guy to hang out with. I always love talking to him and chatting about stuff. And he mentioned how he still watches every single video that I put up on this channel and that he really enjoys them. And I had no idea. It's not like I value him above any of my other friends. It's just he's a really cool guy and I value his opinion. And I didn't even realize, I don't think that I know people watch these, but I don't put the value in them that somebody might put in a higher piece of work. I don't know, like a film or a show or something like that, that there are actual fans that actually watch every episode. For some reason, I never think of it that way. I hope to achieve that, but I never would think that I'm already there with certain people. And so to hear that from somebody like him, who I respect, was kind of like, wow, I'm kind of doing a lot with this channel. I should stop putting it at risk, focusing on other little things that don't matter. So yeah, that other channel that I had, it's just dead. I'm just not going to post to it anymore. It's going to die. I'm not necessarily going to delete it. It can just go die. I don't care. So I'm going to focus entirely on this channel. I needed to clean the house to get my clear mind back so I could come to that realization. That being said, let's talk about what this stuff in front of me is. And also, hi, John, if you're watching. This is Rising Sun. This is actually technically not my game. This is Bryant, or Bobaflex's game. You've seen him on the channel a few times. I've mentioned him before. Good friend. Probably one of my best friends. Definitely one of my best friends. So this is his game, technically. Me and another friend bought it for him for Christmas one year because he had seen it at that year's Gen Con and had not had the time or the money or something to pick it up. It was like the end of the weekend and we had already bought a million things. And he was like, oh, wow, really cool Samurai Miniatures board game. Looks awesome. Just we didn't grab it. So we ended up getting it for him for Christmas, the base box and all of the expansions. I believe this is all of the expansions that have come out, disregarding any possible promos or limited edition things like that. So we bought him all this for Christmas one year and we have played the base game quite a few times. I would say at least a dozen times. I did a sort of a review walkthrough on it on this channel before. It was a long time ago. You can tell by watching the video, the audio quality is not as good. The video quality is not as good. The lighting is almost non-existent. The room is in a completely different orientation. The shelves behind me are almost completely bare compared to what they are now. It was a long time ago, even though it was only 2 or 3 years ago. I did a review of the game. I didn't really show the game very well because I hadn't yet adopted the idea of using B-roll or slow motion shots to give close-ups of the different components and really let you guys get a good look at everything. I kind of just held up a few different figures and tokens and generally gestured to the board so that you guys got an idea of what the game was like. And I also didn't have a proper rating system back then, so I think I kind of just said, I like the game a lot. If I had to do another off-the-fly review on this game again, I don't know, just from my memory of having played it, I don't know if I love the game. I want to play it again. I want to get a better feel for it. I haven't played it in a while. I do know that it's probably somewhere above a 6, below a 10. Like it's definitely not a 10. It's not a bad game. So it's like a 7, 8. I doubt it's a 9, so a 7 or 8 somewhere in there. I'm guessing. I would have to play it again to really see how I feel about it. But I do recall that I mentioned there are 58 miniatures in this box, pretty high quality miniatures, and that this box only costs $100. So that's less than $2 per miniature. And like I said, they're decent. They're not quite like Games Workshop, but they're not as low as like a Bones or a Reapers mini that you would get for like a quick D&D game. They have some quality to them. They have some nice detail, especially the larger ones. There are some in here that are, 5 or 6 inches tall and they're on a 50 millimeter base. They're really nice. You could easily prime them and paint them up. So you get a good bang for your buck out of this box purely based off the fact that you're getting all of those miniatures plus a board game to play with them. So it's not a bad deal. I just can't quite recall how much I love the actual gameplay and the experience of playing the game. However, Bryant reached out to me recently the other day and said, hey, I've been playing Ghosts of Tsushima a lot, that lovely samurai game for PlayStation. He had never played it before, and now he's kind of got samurais on the brain. So he was like, can we play either Shogun or Rising Sun this weekend on our Saturday gaming night? And since we played a lot of Shogun lately, and I already know I love Shogun, and I've already reviewed Shogun, I was like, why don't we do Rising Sun, and why don't we work in all of the expansions? Because we've never played with any of those. We bought them with the base game because we thought he would love the base game, and we didn't want to miss out on the opportunity to pick up the expansions if the game went cold, which can happen if games don't accrue enough popularity. I believe this was originally sort of a big box Kickstarter title, and that's why there were immediately so many expansions that came out with the game that kind of launched simultaneously. This is made by Cool Mini or Not, which is a good company. I like a lot of the games they have. I don't necessarily own a lot of them, but they always look like they have great stuff in their booth. So we are going to, this Saturday, play Rising Sun with all 3 of these expansions, which adds in new monsters. The game already comes with, I want to say it's 8 monsters. They're not called monsters necessarily. They're called Oni? Oni. They're called Oni, which I think means demons or ghosts or spirits or something like that. But I believe there are 8 Oni in this box. I believe this monster pack is actually adding more Oni, or perhaps monsters are a completely separate thing. I'll give you a quick look at everything in a minute. But then it also adds Kami, or it has Kami Unbound, or we have Kami Unbound. The Kami are sort of the gods in this setting, or in Japanese culture lore. In this, you can visit the Kami by going to their different prayer shrines or temples, and through that you get special bonuses, but you don't actually get to utilize the Kami as figures on the board. With this box, the Kami actually sort of come to life and become interactive models on the board with the rest of the clans, the soldiers, and the Oni. And then this larger box here actually adds in 2 additional clans to the game, I believe allowing the maximum player size to reach 7. And because there's 5 in the box already, this adds in the Sun and the Moon clans, which have unique special rules. So just a quick look at the games here, or look at the game and the boxes here. So this is Rising Sun, and on the back of it you can see all the miniatures that you get. Quite a few miniatures. You can see all the larger Oni at the top there, the board, the tokens. Like I said, pretty good quality. I've certainly seen worse quality for more money, so good deal there. Then we have Kami Unbound, and like I said, the Kami in this setting are kind of the gods. You can see them there. And these are the Kami from the box. Fujin, Raijin, Hachiman, these are all the actual Kami that are shown in the game. So it's basically taking them and it's making them playable, sort of. Then we have the Monster Pack, this here. I believe this is adding more Oni, unless these aren't Oni and there's something entirely new. But you can see those there. And some of these are actually recognizable from sort of Japanese horror lore, particularly this tree full of women's heads. And there's another one in the base box, which is actually just this like giant shambling mound of female corpses covered in long black flowing hair, something like, The Ring or The Grudge. So that's fun. And then lastly, did not mean to do that. Apologize. Rip headphone wearers. This is Dynasty Invasion. This is the one that adds in the 2 new clans. And it also looks like it adds in 7 lucky gods. So that's 7 more large base figures. But we've got the Sun Clan and the Moon Clan right there. Hopefully I'm not holding this like way too close to the camera. But yeah, so those are the 3 expansions plus the base game. I'm excited to get back into this game and give it a shot. I'm wondering if maybe we'll even have time to go through 2 playthroughs this Saturday, although unlikely because my Saturday night gaming night, we tend to start around 7:30, 8 o'clock, because it has to be after my son goes to bed. And we generally only get 1 game in and we wrap up around 10, 10:30, maybe 11. So fitting in a second game at that point would push it to like 2 or 3 in the morning, which is late when you have to get up and do stuff as an adult, even though it's, a Saturday going into a Sunday. So probably only one game of this, but definitely more games in the next couple of weeks. I want to kind of flesh this out and get a better understanding for how I feel about this game, plus the expansions, and maybe do another review on it, or sort of like a semi-review. Now that my reviews are a lot shorter and I'm not doing full playthroughs, plus I've already done one on this game, I don't need to do like a super deep dive. I kind of just want to give you a better look at the game's components, and a more up-to-date, sort of like well-bodied review now that I have all of this gaming experience on the shelves behind me. But anyways, hope you guys are doing well. Glad to be back. I am going to try to put all my other focuses out of all my other stuff out of my mind right now, and focus entirely on getting this channel back up to speed, because it's been slacking for a while and I realize that now. I'm just going to keep mentioning the Parks review because that's hilarious that it's still going, incomplete, but I will have that up next. But yeah, Rising Sun, I'll let you guys know how it goes. I hope you're doing well. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to talk about this or anything else. I love talking to you guys. Leave a thumbs up or a thumbs down, depending on how you enjoyed or didn't enjoy the video. And if you want to see more content like this, especially more for sort of like well thought out planned reviews, which I swear there will be more of, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, set your notification bell to all, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good day.